Now, we are still trying to go through everything with Tino, but to know more details about this tropical cyclone outside the Philippine Fair Responsibility, we have with us on the line Pag-asa Weather Specialist John Manalo. Magandang umaga, John. Thank you so much for joining us.
Magandang umaga din, Paolo, and also good morning to all our viewers and listeners.
John, pag-usapan muna natin yung track ng tropical cyclone na to outside the Philippine Air Responsibility. Maraming natatroma ngayon dahil kay Tino, but what can you tell us about yung movement ng tropical cyclone na to?
Well, it's somehow bothering kasi yung fact na posible yung rapid intensification dun sa latest natin na advisory patungkol dito sa upcoming na si Uwan. By the way, yung ipapangalan natin dito, tropical depression siya ngayon. Pag pumasok siya ng Philippine Area of Responsibility, ay bibigyan natin ito ng local name na Uwan. Kaya siya somewhat alarming kasi yung rapid intensification o yung paglakas niya in terms of its category ay nakikita natin na posible. Ngayon ay tropical depression siya nung huling advisory natin. Pero sa mga susunod na oras, actually, posibleng at this moment ay tropical storm na siya. And then sa mga susunod na oras ay mag-intensify pa ito into severe tropical storm. At bago ito pumasok ng Philippine Area of Responsibility, maaari nitong ma-reach yung typhoon category. At pagpasok niya dito sa Philippine Area of Responsibility by Friday night or Saturday morning, afternoon, ay posible pa na ma-reach niya yung super typhoon category.
At when can we possibly expect yung mga effects nito? At the moment, we are not feeling yung effects niya because of Tino and of course outside of the Philippine Air Responsibility. But if ever it does, and when it does rather, enter the Philippine Air Responsibility, when can we start feeling yung effects nito?
Well, by Sunday, it's the trough of this typhoon Uwan, locally named Uwan, will already affect the eastern part of Luzon. And we have two scenarios currently, but based on our advisory, we only forecast up to 5 days. So if it's a landfalling scenario, by Sunday, it will affect the eastern part of Luzon, particularly Cagayan Valley region, including Aurora and most likely Quezon. And it will also affect the Cordillera Administrative Region, Central Luzon. And since it is a super typhoon, it may also affect, it's due to its trough or extension of its clouds, it may also affect Metro Manila. And our second scenario will be it may not landfall. So once it approach near the northeastern section or northeastern part of Luzon, it will move northward and northeastward toward the southern part of Japan towards Okinawa. But due to its size, it will still affect mainly the extreme northern Luzon and the northeastern part of our country.
So, John, para klaro lang, so may dalawang scenario, yung isa landfall, yung isa no landfall, but then yung medyo sigurado or at least yung high possibility is that it will be in the northern part of the country or at least eastern Luzon and the northern part of Luzon, yung talaga maapektuhan. Tama ba yan?
Yes, that is correct, Paolo. And dito rin papasok yung kahalagahan na maging updated tayo. Dahil i-update natin, dahil habang lumalayo pa yung forecast track natin, ay tumataas din yung posibilidad na magbago pa ito. Nakadepende pa ito sa iba pang atmospheric systems na maaaring makaapekto dun sa movement and yung track and yung intensification nitong upcoming na bagyo.
Na-mention mo that there is a possibility of yung rapid intensification that might reach super typhoon category. Ano nga ba yung mga conditions over the eastern side of the country that actually make it conducive for the rapid intensification?
That's actually a very good question, Paolo. Dahil yung sea surface temperature natin sa paligid ng Pilipinas, ng ating bansa, ay mainit. Ibig sabihin yung high sea surface temperature na yun, nagko-contribute kasi yun para mas mag-intensify o nag-generate yun ng contribution para yung energy na kailangan ng bagyo para mas lumakas siya ay nagiging mas favorable sa kanya. At isa sa mga factors na nagko-contribute kaya mas mainit yung sea surface temperature natin ay yung nasa La Nina alert tayo. At ganoon din naman dahil mainit yung sea surface, yung Tagalog na yung temperatura ng ating karagatan malapit sa Pilipinas ay mainit, ganoon din naman dumadami yung evaporation at ganoon din naman yung cloud formation. Kaya during La Nina, ang epekto nito sa atin ay mas maraming mga pag-ulan. At yun din, yung condition na nagko-contribute kaya mas mataas yung chance na magkaroon tayo ng rapid intensification.
John, we're gonna be watching this all throughout the week. Maraming salamat and of course, keep up the good work.